This is Jay Horwitz with a special edition of Amazing Conversations with Ranger great Ron Greschner. Ron, I want you to know you're the first hockey player I've ever interviewed on this podcast. The
Oh,
first
thank
one.
you. I hope I can do it all hockey justice then.
Let me tell you this, Ron. My knowledge, you know where I get my knowledge of hockey from? From Howie Rose. Every time I see Howie, how you doing, Howie? He goes, Matto, 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 Matto. So that's how I understand my hockey stuff and
Very,
everything.
very, very famous line.
Yes.
Um, that to me that was like one of the. I remember I was at the game, and I was happy for the team that they won, like really happy. But I was more. I was really happy for the fans, and that was a big thing. I mean, I was there 16 years. We tried to win, but we just didn't do it for them. We got close a couple times, but the New York Ranger fans deserve that because they're without a doubt the greatest fans in the world.
Well, right. So we want to, to me, you're my David Wright. I'll tell you why. 16 years at the Rangers. David spent 14 years with the Mets. He got into one World Series at the end. We lost in 5 games to Kansas City. You got, if I correct me wrong, 1 playoff in '79. You lost in 5 games to the Canadians. Is it unusual in your sport for it to play so long with one team? In baseball,
Well,
it is.
yeah, I mean, there are a lot of guys. Some guys play like different guys play with different games and different eras, I guess. But like I just read an article like 5 minutes ago. Like just to give you a little word, like a little hint here of what's going on. A lot of guys quit the sport, like quit football, quit hockey, quit baseball, quit basketball, whatever it is. They go, I'm done with it. I watch more hockey now than I ever did in my life,
Really?
and I love it. It's hard not to love it when I've been doing this hockey thing for 65 years out of my 68 years. Like I don't remember all this stuff when I was a kid. I remember once getting hit in the puck standing on the snowbank on the side of an open rink when I was like 5 years old. I remember that because my nose was bleeding, and they took me home to clean my nose off because it was outdoors. It was very cold, but I want to get back to the rink. I love hockey. I watch I watch junior hockey. My family had owned a team in Winnipeg, Manitoba, the Winnipeg Ice. James Patrick, who played for the Rangers, was a coach until this year we sold the team. I watch the Olympics. I watch girls hockey. I go to games around Connecticut and watch games that kids are playing. I love watching the game. You always see something new in the game.
Ron, are you the only hockey player ever to come from good soil, Saskatchewan?
Yeah, but I just got inducted into the Saskatchewan Hockey Hall of Fame in
Oh,
August.
congratulations! Congratulations!
It was very good. I had a great time. They had it was outdoors in a big tent, because they didn't have enough. They had it in Meadow Lake, Saskatchewan, which is like 50 miles from where I grew up, and they had it outdoors in a big tent, and they had 550 people there for the event. And probably 250 were my relatives and friends.
I have another on you. We had the book came out in 2009 in the 84 history of the Rangers. You were the 12th best player as voted by a panel. That's a pretty nice honor. Of all the years, number 12.
Yeah, no, I think it's I range anywhere from 9 to 12 in that, 12 to 13, whatever. To
Right.
me, that's anywhere in the top 50 is good. There's a lot of players went through that organization. It's been around. It's coming up for 100 years, and I know that the Rangers are going to put on the biggest show you've ever seen for the 100 years. And
Well, let me
a lot
say, being in New York, we were 74 to 90. Did you ever run into Keith or any of the guys downtown where you were playing?
Back in the 80s, I was around a lot. So in the summertime, I was out doing what I did best in the summertime, partying up a little bit. And I seen a lot of guys out. I was very, very good friends with Rusty.
Yeah, but what are the nicest people I've ever met? I mean, just to a mensch, as we say in my religion.
Who's that,
You know,
Rusty?
yeah, Rusty, a real mensch.
Well, Rusty was. We lived in Florida at the same time. We used to travel back and forth together once in a while, and when he had that rib place on 73rd, I think it was,
Yeah,
on
yeah.
3rd Avenue. Um, there's some funny stories from that because we were at some bar one time on 3rd Avenue, and it was like a Monday night or a Tuesday night, and we were hitting golf balls down 3rd Avenue at a
Not by Rusty, really.
yeah, and well, yeah, and then the police showed up. This is like 40 years ago, but police showed up and they're going, Ron, what are you guys doing? I go, we're practicing our driving.
Yes, well, why not?
Yeah,
Yeah, I hope I'm not out of place. A little birdie told me you might have got to Studio 54 once or twice. True or not true?
I went there. I went there quite a bit. Matter of fact, I was good friends with Mark Beneke that ran the door. He was a huge Ranger fan, and it was an amazing place in the 70s. Like it was amazing. A lot of people didn't get there till the 80s because they couldn't get in. It
Yeah.
was a lot different by that time, but it was.
You know, when we traded for Keith in 83, and he hated New York. You know, he didn't like New York, never traveled from his hotel. But now he's kind of like the mayor of New York City now. He can't walk down the street.
I met him a lot of times. And he's a great guy. He's like, I didn't know he was that shy back then, but
yeah, he didn't want to come to New York, but now he's been a broadcaster for all these years, and hey, what is I want to ask you about you? Her books was your coach, right, in the early '80s.
yeah,
How much of the, I must have seen Miracle on Ice like 94 million times.
yeah, me too.
How much was the portrayal of that? I mean, accurate, not accurate.
Herb was ahead of his time. Like if he was a coach today, this is the way the game is today. That was Herb's game, and that's how he coached the Olympic team back then. All those players. I mean, God rest in peace, Mark Pavlich. But Mark Pavlich, I played with on the Rangers, and we were very good friends. He passed away a few years ago, but he was an unbelievable player, and he picked all those guys out, and they could all skate. And that's what the game is today. There was no third, fourth line. They had one, two, three, four. They were all one.
How long after the Miracle Line did he coach you? I forgive my ignorance. How long when did he become the coach of the Rangers?
He became the coach. Miracle was 1980.
Right.
And, he came 81.
81.
Yeah.
Craig Patrick was one of the coaches of the Miracle team, right? Too.
Yeah. Craig came. Craig came in 80. He came to the team in 80, and then Craig coached us in 81. We went to the semifinals and lost to the Islanders.
And you got the win in Game 6. You got the winning goal, right?
That was in 79.
79, right? And I looked up. You got the winning. You scored 3 goals. The winning goal in three of those playoff games in 79, 80.
Yeah. It was. We had a really good young team then. Excuse me. I was like 23 years old, and I was the second oldest defenseman on the team. Carol Vadnais was 30, 32, whatever. I was 30, 23. Dave Maloney was 21. Dave Farish was 21 or 20. Mike McEwen, who was an exceptionally great player. He never got the credit how good he was.
Ron, you said you're a football giant. I'm a big Giant fan too. How far do you go back with the Giants?
I used to go to the games and I sneak on the sidelines and it was I brought my kids to some of the games. Like they're not kids, are in their 20s now, but my one son's a big Jets fan, and my youngest son is a Ravens fan. So it's not.
Tell me, Ron, in the 80s, did you go to any of the 86 games, the World Series games at all?
I was at a game when they were losing game 6.
That was a big game.
That was the one with Buckner's legs.
Right. That was Mookie's.
We left.
You left. That's not good.
Well, the game looked like it was over.
It was. You know what? It was 2 outs, 2 strikes on Gary Carter. I was sitting with Keith in Davey Johnson's office and had to go to the bathroom. He said, "Don't you dare!" After Gary got the hit, don't you dare go we're going to start a rally now, and I wound up peeing in my pants, Ron. I'm sorry to say.
Well, I remember getting back into the city.
How did you feel when you left the game?
Well, we had, it was a few drinks and stuff, but it was we got back into the city, and it was amazing because people were cheering. I'm going like, can't be that many Red Sox fans here. There
Right.
was a bar on 83rd or 84th Street, a sports bar that we went to. I go, there can't be that many Red Sox fans here.
Yeah.
But like, well, if all the teams to lose, the Boston, when Boston loses, that's like a Boston, Philadelphia, they lose. That's like I like that. That's like a little mark on our belt,
Who is your biggest rival when you're playing hockey, Ron?
Islanders, Philadelphia.
Yeah.
We played in '79. We went to the finals. We played with exhibition 2 games against the Flyers, eight games in the regular season, and 5 in the playoffs. And the Islanders was 2 in the exhibition, 8 in the regular season, and 6 in the playoffs.
Yeah.
We played them 31 times, I think.
Wow.
And those teams were tough back then too. Boy, Philadelphia was tough, and the Islanders just had I come up in I guess in a bad era. Well, a lot of people, well, I wasn't the only guy. There was lots of guys where Montreal won 4, then Montreal won 4, and then the Islanders won 4, and then Edmonton won 4 out of 5.
Right. Don't you feel like we haven't won that much with the Mets now, but we're still people follow us. It's a Ranger town. Don't you think that it's hard for the other teams to crack the Rangers' hold on this area?
Well, they never will. They never will. Ranger fans, excuse me, it doesn't matter where I go. I remember I was in Arizona one time walking through a mall years ago, and these people come up to me. They're big Ranger fans, and they so I signed stuff, took pictures with them. But wherever you go to, excuse me, I remember, I'll give you a quick story. Back in the '70s, when I first started playing, we were playing in Vancouver. Then we flew to LA to play in LA, right? So I played in LA before that in the fall, but this is like in the after the New Year. And so we go to the game, and I thought they were playing St. Louis, and a friend of mine that I played junior with, Bob Hess, was playing with St. Louis. So I went over to the Forum, and I walk in. There's like 4,000 people, 5,000 people there. I go, it must have been like something I did in a hurricane. I mean, earthquake or something happened. People couldn't get to the game. I didn't know that. Everywhere we played, the Rangers played, it sold out. It didn't matter what back then.
And in a way, I mean, listen, I've been a PR guy all my life. I kind of not feel badly, but Rangers losing and winning will dominate what the other teams do. And it's like with other, like the Jets have coming up now, but I think that the Giants, it's still a Giant city yet here for now. Hopefully, it stays that way for a while. But it just, I guess, the long history of the Mets, of the Rangers, why people are so passionate about it.
Well, I think the Ranger fans are very, very passionate, very loyal, and they're very knowledgeable too. And they like people that worked hard or work hard at the game. You can make mistakes. They'll live with the mistakes. They'll live with whatever happens in the game. But they like people that work hard. And if you put a little fight in your game and have a little be more aggressive, they like that a lot more too.
And you could divide it. You get to all the different sporting events. You can go to many games, football, basketball.
I go to almost every Ranger game. I go to maybe one football game on each team once a year. There's not a whole lot of games there. So if you go to one game, I have a lot of good friends that have tickets and stuff like that. So
listen, it's a city. Hopefully next year will be a better year. And wish the Rangers nothing but the best. And really, if you ever want to come to a game, I promise you'll enjoy it. And let your friends at the Rangers know. And I promise we'll take good care of you.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.